Daysville look in this scenario in which India forms an empire. And the first thing they do is go after Sri Lanka. And why Sri Lanka? Because it's good. And I just forgot to maybe color in some of their islands. Not a big deal, I guess. And well, as their invasion of Sri Lanka begins, they march in from the north, capture the coast, and then capture the inner areas. With this, they annex Sri Lanka. And with this, I think Sri Lanka has a few million people. I don't know how they even control it. But also, there's no NATO or UN, because no, there's no way to expand if they exist. There's no treaties. There's no nothing, literally. We're just in a different place. Like, we're not even in our world, really. No, Bangladesh didn't start this one. But somebody might start a war. Someone might get a bit cranky that someone's expanding into what they used to have. Somebody may not be the happiest neighbor, but who knows. So as they go into Myanmar, that wasn't supposed to happen. As the Myanmar invasion begins, India launches its troops across the border. There may be someone who's not happy about this, as India starts advancing through Myanmar and taking the cities. Myanmar's ally decides to join this war, and now India's in a two-front war. With Pakistan struggling to advance, though, across into this territory because there's so many people, I guess. And so India finishes off Myanmar, and their troops start rushing to the other front. This time, Pakistan captures a majority of Kashmir and captures this area. They don't get to any of the major cities, with India launching a counter-offensive. And it does this. Pakistan's in a bit of trouble. And despite being a strong nation, Pakistan is unstable. Well, so they push back, and eventually Pakistan's completely kicked out of the country. And then they move in with two offensives, one in the center and one in Kashmir. These two offensives are to neutralize Pakistan, with them sending more and more troops in every day. Eventually, they overrun Pakistan, taking Karachi, and then take Islamabad. And then Pakistan surrenders. So let's see a peace treaty. All of Pakistan and Myanmar, not Malaysia, decide to invade these two nations, Nepal and Bhutan. They decide to invade mountains, literally. As their forces literally advance like this. Eventually, they meet their goals, but they've been in this war a few months. Not because it's hard, it's just because the terrain doesn't allow a fast invasion. Not because the nations are strong. Now, if the nations were strong, that would be impossible to do. With it looking like India is getting pretty strong. With them planning to invade Thailand, then into China. Hopefully China doesn't get. And now they invade Afghanistan and Iran at the same time. Why? Well, because they can. And since they can, they can. With them launching an offensive in the southern Iran, as they launch an offensive which quickly overruns and captures the city of Kabul and moves into the panhandle of Afghanistan. With them reaching here, and yeah. And Afghanistan is probably revolting every second of this, but I got rid of Afghanistan's revolts. Yeah. Because this is not even possible, unless you're like the Mughal Empire. Oh wait, wasn't the Mughal Empire like an India Empire? Except it started in Uzbekistan or something. And that expanded into India. Well, as Iran starts losing lands, they consider surrendering, but they don't. And then when Tehran falls, they literally surrender. So let's see the peace treaty of Thailand. And yeah, not annex the tail for some reason. I guess because that wouldn't look the best on maps. And plus, then you would expect them to invade them. With them managing to take Bangkok in a few days, the capital, and then they do this, and then the country literally surrenders. So let's see the peace treaty. Occupy the claimed territory that India claims that China invaded in the 60s. They go and re-invade it and occupy it. With China treating this as an act of war. But they're not ready over there. Their area over there is not defended well. With India moving into the mountains rather slowly. As we know from their record with mountain invasion, it's not pretty good. Does anybody even have a good record with mountain invading? And eventually, this is what it looks like in the mountainous Tibetan plateau. Because literally, India's like 9,000 feet below China in this area. With them moving into Yunnan, which doesn't exist, but I'm just saying it, but has existed if it was a collapse of China. And well, China starts moving north. India does. China makes a counteroffensive in this region, but eventually it stalls out. They also do one here, but that also stalls out. With Tibetan and Uyghur rebels happening, and China managing to put down the ones in Xinjiang, but they failed to put out the Tibetan ones, which India offers them annexation if they help them. And many Chinese troops are now getting encircled because of rebellions. Eventually, these rebellions lead to Tibet. And well, China starts considering peace. But then they decide if they get to the water and we have no chance of pushing them back, that's where we'll begin. With them making a counteroffensive here. With them making it all the way here. And a lot of troops are being taken prisoner or going missing. With China deciding peace is their best move at this point. So they go ahead and get peace. Let's see the peace treaty greatly with taking parts of the Yunnan area, Tibet, and some border territories. China has lost a lot. They should have surrendered, but they didn't. And that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like and subscribe as India expands from, well, a lot of areas. From Myanmar to Iran, from the Sri Lanka to Tibet. It's a pretty big empire, and that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out. Bye, guys!